Breaking news! Delima at mga Madri, kapit-bisig na nagrosaryo patungo sa kanilang hantungan, ang ikatlong impeachment complaint laban kay VP Sara Duterte. Kapansin-pansin ang matinding simbolismo sa pagdating ng grupo ni Leila de Lima sa House of Representatives nitong araw ng Pebrero 9, 2026, kasama ang mga Madri, kapwa-abogado, at relihiyosong individual, habang kapwa nagrorosaryo at magkakahawak kamay. Bitbit ng grupo ang ikatlong impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, na isinumiti sa Office of the Secretary General ng Kamara sa Quezon City. Sa mga larawang kumalat sa social media, makikita si De Lima sa gitna ng mga Madri, tahimik ngunit determinado, na tila nagpapahiwatig na ang kanilang hakbang ay hindi lamang legal kundi moral at espiritual din ayon sa kampo ni De Lima. Ang paghahain ng reklamo ay bunga ng patuloy na panawagan ng ilang sektor na papanagutin ang Vice Presidente sa mga isyong kinakaharap nito.
Give us a brief statement. So we will give a brief statement after.
Sir, dyan na lang, sir. Otops ko na. Baba mo na yung mic.
Give the statement.
Aray ko, may paper. Pataas yung paper. Ma'am, pwede pataas yung paper. Mabigat daw, mabigat. Kinukunan pa rin, ma'am. Busy niyo po. Pakiano pa. Picture ko naman daw, picture. Hold lang po, hold. Sapaw? Sapaw. Pabuka po, pabuka. Pabuka muna, pabuka.
Magandang hapon. Here we go again. Together with me, as a hapon ito, I would like to recognize and call them one by one, recognize them. Yung mga naghain na third impeachment complaint against Vice President. Maalala nyo, exactly more than a year ago, this site is familiar because andito rin kami like December 18 of December 2024. So we have Reverend Father Joel Zapalla of the Diocese of Novaliches. We have Father Joselito Sarabia of the Congregation of the Mission. We have Father Edilberto Patuli of the Congregation of the Mission. We have Father Rogelio de Rosario of the Missionaries of Jesus. We have Pastor Leonard P. Arevalo of the San Bartolome Christian Fellowship. We have Pinky Tam of the Stand Up for Good Rosary Group. Then we have Maria Loreto Lopez of the Matina Community Pantry and Consensia Davao and Zelda. And we also have members of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines from Cebu. We have Attorney Jalido de la Torre. We have a veteran freedom fighter from Cebu, Attorney Democrito Barcenas. We have Attorney Lourdes Barcenas. And we also have nuns from the Daughters of Charity. We have Sister Maria Lisa Ruedas. We have Sister Violeta Cecilio. We have Sister Geraldine Dinoga. And joining us are also priests. We have Father Joel Porcintolan, and we have Father R. Lebeba. We are honored to have been endorsed by no less than our party list representatives representing Mamamayang Liberal, Congresswoman Laila de Lima. It's an honor to that. Now, to give you an overview of what we find. 7 days after the House of Representatives impeached the Vice President last year. the Sandigan Bayan ordered the imprisonment of a public school principal for pocketing 5,000 pesos. The school principal is ordered to be in prison for 11 years. It happened a week after the impeachment last year. And this is the second time that the third set of complainants, the group is filing an impeachment complaint against the Vice President. On what grounds? We are alleging, we are invoking the grounds of culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trusts, slander, malversation, graft and corruption, bribery, and other high crimes, to the tune of 612,500,000 pesos. I repeat, it is contained in the complaints that the Vice President has amassed at least 612 million pesos, 612,500,000 pesos. And so I ask, if on one hand, we can send to jail a public school principal for pocketing 5,000 pesos for 11 years of imprisonment. That is on one hand. Can we give a free pass to the Vice President for stealing not one, not two, but 612,500,000 pesos? Do we give the Vice President a free pass just because she has a famous family name? How do we talk to her kids? We can send somebody for pocketing 5,000 pesos to jail for 11 years and let the Vice President go scot-free just because she has a famous family name. It came to a point last year that these complainants believed, and these complainants continue to believe, that it is no longer just the constitutional obligation of the House of Representatives to impeach and for the Senate to remove from office the sitting Vice President of the Republic. That obligation is no longer just a constitutional law. It has become, and it remains to be, a moral obligation of Congress to impeach and remove from office once and for all Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte.
Okay, question?
Yes. Yes, yes. It's a 98-page documents, the pleading, minus the annexes. We certainly believe, as a litigator, I certainly believe that we have built a very strong case against the Vice President. We attached the DAP's documents evidencing payments of the Vice President, proving allegedly how she spends the millions of pesos entrusted to her, being the Vice President and also being the head of DepEd. And here comes the affidavit. Okay, on one hand, this case can stand even without the affidavit of Camille Mandiaga. Why? Because the Vice President, with two officers, submitted fictitious names as alleged recipients of these millions of pesos entrusted to her. We have certifications from the Philippine Statistical Authority saying that these individuals do not exist. They were not born, they're not dead. They are what they are, fictitious. So the case will stand even without the affidavit of Rabin Badriaga. And here comes, out of the blue, providing the missing link, so to speak, on how the Vice President actually did it. Rabin Badriaga's affidavit narrates how the 125 million pesos were actually spent on December 2020. Now, I think 2 weeks ago, you can read in the pleading, there's a prefatory statement quoting a song. The Senate President, Vicente Soto, said, impeaching the Vice President has become an impossible dream. But this group of complainants, we believe in that. With that court decision that makes impeachment harder than it should be, yes, impeachment has become an impossible dream, but we will continue to dream that impossible dream. Thank you.
Sir, you mentioned po yung urgency na pag-remove kay Vice President Duterte her alleged offenses.
Nalunod na.
Would you rather that the House go again with that one-third route, diretso sa Senate? Or would you want the House to refer it first sa Justice Committee hearings na lang?
What's your name again?
Yenes Kapatid.
Jenna, so it's really up to the House on how to proceed. We have two options. We can go through the more vigorous process of the House Committee on Justice, determining whether the allegations, the three impeachment complaints are sufficient in form and in substance, and for that committee to determine whether it should proceed to the plenary for votes, or the House of Representatives could proceed with the more expeditious way of impeaching the Vice President, that is through a vote of one-third to the plenary. But on behalf of the third set of complainants, we believe either way, the evidence will speak for themselves.
Do you have a credible witness to stand for this impeachment?
Yes. We have statements of the personnel and staff of the Vice President herself, from the OVP and DepEd, making admissions under oath. So we can use these witnesses, and we have Rabin Badriaga, and we have the Vice President herself. She signed certification saying that she ordered how the millions of pesos would have to be the millions of pesos, how they should be spent. So we have everything. We have witnesses, we have documents to prove that the Vice President violated her oath. She should be removed from office for culpable violation of the Constitution, for betrayal of public trust, for bribery, graft and corruption, plunder, and malversation. I hope you understand. I already sent you a copy of the soft copy of the complaint, and I will now turn over the microphones to our priests.
Cellphone po. Pababa. Cellphone, pababa.
endorse ko yung second complaint, right? Yung one filed by also from various civil society organizations. And meron din mga kasama sila Father Flavio Villanueva, Father Robert Reyes. So, wala akong prohibition for anyone, for any endorser, to endorse more than once. Wala po yan sa rules, wala po yan sa batas, wala po yan sa Constitution na isa lang dapat ang endorse ng isang miyembro ng House of Representatives. So why did I agree to be an endorser? Ang ito po niya about 2 days ago, kinausap ko ako ng dalawa sa kanila, yung dalawang complainants, si Father Sabaya, tsaka si Father Sarabia. Dati ko na po silang kilala, kasama po sila sa mga aking mga spiritual advisors doon. Nakatulong po ako, katulad din po nila Father Villanueva and Father Reyes. So sabi nila, meron nga, they intend again to file the third impeachment complaint because they are among also the complainants in that previous complaint, the third complaint filed by private citizens dati, noong 2023. So sabi ko, okay, pag-iisipan ko at syempre titignan ko na muna yung itsura ng complaint, ang mga laman yan, kung sa aking palagay ay sufficient in form and substance, sa aking palagay ay may enough grounds for impeachment at makaka-reach ito ng concluding stage sa committee level, which is the evidentiary or the trial stage. Ang mga grounds po, hindi ko nalalayo doon sa mga grounds na sinabi doon sa second complaint. Hindi rin po ito nalalayo doon sa pinaka mismong grounds ginamit ng more than 1/3 of the House of Representatives last year in endorsing and adopting articles of impeachment and transmitting the same to the Senate. Mas na-improve pa nga po. It's an improved version actually, if I must say, that it's an improved version ng mismo ng mga articles of impeachment na pinadala noon as endorsed, as signed and endorsed by more than 1/3 of the members of the House. So, nakikita na po yung complaint mismo, nakita ko kung marami siyang mga supporting evidence, sigurado rin po ako, just like the second complaint, mapapasa ito sa stage ng pag-determine ng sufficiency in form and substance, and hanggang doon din sa pinaka-gulo ng proceedings sa House, which as I said, issue pag-evaluate na ng mga ebidensya kasi sasagutin nga yan, papasagutin ang respondent, si Bibi Sara, kapag pumasa na sa determination of sufficiency in form and substance.
So, according to Sarah, all these impeachment complaints are referring to political harassment purposes.
Nakikita nyo naman po na yung mga complainants, second and the third complainants, and even the first complainants, they are private citizens, they are members of clergy, they are members of organizations, and they have been into this, into their cause, into their campaign for accountability of highest officials of this country, and including the Vice President. So yung kanilang motivation is not at all political. Sabi nga ni Father Sarabia, may halo din po itong moral, because it's the moral obligation of everyone, the moral obligation to members of Congress, members of the House of Representatives, to do its constitutional duty, to scrutinize the allegations, evaluate the evidence, and make a finding of probable cause para nga po mag-consider na rin ng 1/3, at least 1/3 of the House members na magkaroon na ng isa pa ulit ng articles, pag-adopt ng articles of impeachment na itatransmit sa Senado for trial.
Ma'am, may bago bang ebidensya, ma'am?
Karamihan po yung dati lang, pero matindi na po yun, yung mga audit findings, mga liquidation vouchers, liquidation documents showing all of those fictitious names of alleged payees or alleged beneficiaries. Legislative records, yung mga TSN, yung mga proceedings, yung mga hearings before the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. And then, yung isang ground, yung tungkol sa pag-threaten niya, nagpapa-assassinate, na nagputos na daw, nag-hire na ng assassin, pa-assassinate yung Pangulo, yung First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. Ang pinaka-ebidensya, yung galing mismo sa kanyang bunganga, right from her mouth. Nakita-kita natin yung video kung saan ginawa niya yung threat na yon na plot to assassinate those three officials or those three individuals. So nandiyan, from her own mouth, from herself, from the legislative records, from audit findings, official audit findings, liquidation vouchers, and ang nakadagdag yung source statement ni Ramil Matiaga. Yun na nga daw ang link doon sa usapin ng pag-abuso, pag-misuse, pagwaldas ng confidential funds of both the Office of the President and the DepEd Secretary. So yun ang panibagong evidence, yun ang nakadagdag doon sa mga ebidensya.
You were with the Akbayan when you went for December 5 for dito, kasama po yung Pilipinas na business Friday Groups. Wala pa yung pahayag na ganun si Dito Sara like what she said to me. Pero ngayon po, sinigil out pa naka-laser focus po siya kay Senator Lisa Contiveros. Ano po sa tingin niyo? Bakit po kayo siya nagsasalita nito?
Well, yun ang nakikita niyang pwede niyang depensa na hindi naman yung legal defense. Yung sinasabing na pamumulitika. Wala siyang ibang masagot na substance or yung sa substantive grounds. Hindi niya masagot-sagot yung mga substantive grounds na inilaan doon sa second impeachment, which I also. So hindi lang Akbayan, hindi lang si Akbayan Martinez Representative versus Sendania ang nag-endorse. Hindi naman in-endorse yan, syempre, ni Senator Lisa Contiveros. Saka, inulit nga noon, diba? Si Representative Sendania was the only endorser of that second complaint last time. Diba? So bakit ngayon lang niya sinasabi tungkol sa pamumulitika? Bakit hindi po yan? Kasi shallow yung kanyang magiging defense. Legally speaking, kaya doon na lang siya pumupulkirya sa political aspect of the whole case.
Hindi kaya nakakita niya si Senator Risa na kalaban sa 2028?
Yes, kasi we expect of course the Secretary General kasi nagpapala na ako dun sa ating resolution of endorsement before Sec General. We expect her to also transmit immediately this complaint with all the annexes. And then para mailagay na rin ng Office of the Speaker sa order of business. Pero syempre, i-take up muna yan sa Rules Committee. We all know that the regular meeting of the Rules Committee is tomorrow. So most probably bukas ay matatransmit na the Office of the Speaker, and then if the take up sa Rules Committee level para ipadala na sa plenary at ang plenary ang mag-refer sa Committee on Justice. So tatlo na ngayon. So tatlong committees, tatlong complaints ang i-refer ngayon sa committee. Matatransmit at malalagay sa order of business at the take-up sa Rules Committee and finally sa plenary for endorsement to the Committee on Justice.
Balik lang ako sa kay Senator Risa. Hindi kaya nakikita ni VP Sara na potential kalaban si Senator Risa, kaya bigla na lang si Senator Risa yung inuro niya. Kahit hindi naman endorse.
That's probably her motivation, but that, that's we have to look into her state of mind. Pero it's a political argument, not at all with respect to the legal merits, substantive merits of the complaint. Yun lang naman ang importante. That's an extraneous factor. I call it an extraneous argument. Yung ganyan ng mga tirada niya sa Akbayan at kay Senator Lisa Contiveros.
So we are here again, and we believe this is a moral duty for us as priests and religious. So ang usapin po ay hindi lamang politika, hindi po kami mga politicians. We believe there is moral concern, and kaya nandito po kami. And we pray that Congress impeach forthwith Vice President Sara Duterte for the cause of truth, even due process. This is the time for her to present her evidences. Hindi niya sinagot yung maraming tanong. This is an occasion for her to answer all the accusations. Kaya magandang space po ito, forum for her to defend even herself. But we believe for the cause of justice, accountability, she has to answer and be rightly judged by our representatives and senators. Maraming salamat.
Other name po. Other name niyo po.
Other my question lang. Other impeachment is usually political exercise. So we notice maraming church people here. What's the church?
Yeah, that's why we say we are Filipinos. We are obedient also to the Constitution. So, and this is a moral concern. So, and that's why we are here. We are saying to our kids, to our children, it's not right to steal, it's not right to lie, magnakaw, at magsinungaling. Wala po ako, pinapasa Diyos na lang po namin ang wala yan. But we will work. We will work and we will be here to represent not only ourselves but sectors behind us. We are not only Catholics, we are also Protestant. We have Protestants, pastor, evangelicals with us. Thank you.
Kami po ay I'm Father Joel Zavalla. Kami po naninindigan na sa paniniwala po namin na oportunidad dito ng Pangalawang Pangulo para sumagot sa mga katanungan na hindi nasagot. Sinasabi po niya noong una na hindi daw po siya nabigyan ng pagkakataon. At ngayon po ay binibigyan siya ng pagkakataon at itong impeachment na ito ay isang legal na pamamaraan na nakabatay sa konstitusyon. Kaya kami ay narito ay nagpa-file para gamitin ang oportunidad para siya magsalita, magpaliwanag, ilabas yung ebidensya niya at ang aming pong mga abogado ay sila naman po yung nakahanda upang ilatag naman po ang aming pong mga pananaw, ang aming pong mga ebidensya laban po sa Pangalawang Pangulo. At para base po sa amin, meron pong substance and form. Sinunod po namin lahat ng ito at ipinapabaya po namin sa pamunuan po ito ng Kongreso. Maraming salamat.
Okay.
Matatandaan na noong mga nagdaang linggo, una at ikalawang impeachment complaint na ang naisumiti laban kay VP Sara, subalit muli itong sinundan ng panibagong reklamo, senyales na hindi pa sumusuko ang mga grupong ito. At kung kayo naman ang tatanungin mga kababayan, ano kaya ang inyong reaksyon at komento sa balitang ito? Please comment down below at huwag na rin kalimutang i-like at share ang ating video.
Thank you for watching.